Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MXGP 2020 and we're here in a sodden Pietramurata for the Italian Grand Prix here in MXGP 2020. So here we go then, starting at the grids, waiting for the grids to drop, and they have finally dropped as we now go into second position, fifth position, and can we go around the outside? Actually have a couple of riders. Can we go all around the outside and get the Fox's whole shot? We certainly can. That's one job already ticked off the list here today, but now across the line for the very first time, and there you go, already beaten by, I believe that's Jeremy Seawer on the right hand side as he pushes me a little bit wide, but we still have a chance to chase down the man on the Yamaha who looks to be pretty rapid already here in this very wet track right now. We've got Jasconis behind us, of course. He's about 0.3 of a second with the massive train right behind us, but look at Jeremy Seawer in this one, already flown to the front as we get a little bit out of shape going into the right-hander there, but now a little bit of a jump here, landing it pretty nicely if we can. We certainly can as we now get into the left-hand side. We've got a bit of a jump here as well, trying to make the jump and get it into the decline of the corner. Didn't quite manage it there as we run it a little bit too wide, overshooting the corner almost there, and we have a rider on the right-hand side. That might be Jasconis trying to get involved and trying to get ahead of us right now. It's actually Kevin Strivos. Good to see the man there trying to get involved in this Grand Prix as we run it a little bit too deep. Not used to the really wet conditions here in this track. It's usually quite dry and usually quite sunny, as we make another mistake shooting ahead over the rut that we tried to attempt to get into, but now unfortunately going into the left hand side, making another mistake as Tim Geiser is now up into second position. We lost the position to the man on board the Husqvarna as well there, and Minas Jasconis, as we now try and get back into it and try and chase down Tim Geiser. Of course, Tim Geiser not had the best season so far, still sitting pretty in the World Championship in third place, but I did expect him to be pretty much leading it from the get-go, as Tony Cairoli has just crashed out, the second to last season in the video game format for Antonio Cairoli. So we're now getting the left-hand side underneath the Fox's whole shot sign. Can we dive up the inside of Minas Jasconis? We're pushing as much as we possibly can to get back ahead of the man on board the Husqvarna as we go on the right-hand side, too tight to the apex there, touching the dirt mound, which is never a good idea, of course, as Minas Jasconis is leading from us in third position. We need to try and get back at him to retain our podium position, but fourth place for now as we just bump into the wall there. Not ideal, feeling a little bit rusty on this particular track. I do love this track. I think it's one of the best tracks in MXGP, and I very much enjoy playing in this game right here in this track, but unfortunately not going to plan as of yet. And as you can see, Minas Jasconis is now almost a blur in the distance. He's a little bit of a dot on the horizon because we can't get anywhere near the man in fourth place right now, as Clement de Sal, championship rival, the man who only trails us by 17 points, is now up into fourth position as Grant gets pushed down to fifth, as things aren't looking too peachy here for Grant, as the track has begun to dry very quickly, may I add, as the rain has finally stopped. As we go into the left-hand side, third gear, holding it into the corner, even dropping it out about 10 miles an hour there, trying to slow the motorcycle down to get the corner correctly, as a fellow British rider, the Scotsman, Sean Simpson, got ahead of us as we get into the left-hand side. A bit of a mistake there as well. Not looking too promising here now, kind of going up against it. I did expect it to be much better here in Pietramurata, but unfortunately not going to plan as of yet. But let's stay focused, let's continue to push. We can surely regain some additional points, and of course staying competitive and getting valuable points is more huge than just buckling under pressure from first position and ended up crashing too many times. But for the time being, the final two laps have been initiated for courtesy of Tim Geiser in first position. We're in sixth position right now with Brian Boges in pursuit of my P5, but for the time being we're going to hold him off for the foreseeable future, I do believe, because of course we do look like we're getting a bit more momentum now, chasing down this gaggle of rides ahead of us. I see Sean Simpson, Clement de Sal, and I believe that's Jasconis as well, just ahead of us. We have a good chance and an opportunity to maybe get closer to the podium. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be a podium, but who knows what's going to happen. We could potentially take that third position if all goes well. And what a move up on the inside of the Kawasaki man. Both men jostling for the championship position and now battling for the fifth position as we now go up ahead of Sean Simpson. Wonderful manoeuvre from the man they call DrAce as we get shoved wide from Sean Simpson. That was an aggressive move if I ever did see one. Simpson certainly threw it up on the inside, did not care for the man on board the Yamaha and went really for it there for the British rider. A little bit of infighting from the fellow compatriot, not ideal considering we're trying to do our best to get the wonderful championship result here because, of course, 17 points separates us from Clement de Sal and a further 11 points to Tim Geiser. Of course, everything counts and everything matters in MXGP, and of course getting additional points is what we really need as we start the final lap. Tim Geiser sets us off for the final lap, and now we are just trailing behind in 5th position. Yaskonis is still in range for that 3rd position, and Clement de Sal is just going to take a few more points than us, and to be honest with you, a few too many points, because I really don't want to finish behind the man on board the KRT machine. As we now go on the right hand side, do we get to the inside? Do we have it? Do we have a chance to get ahead of Clement de Sal and potentially... Whoa! Sean Simpson, Lord Almighty! Just threw it up on the inside. Extremely aggressive from the compatriot, absolutely showing no compassion for his compatriot. Did not care one iota as we now dive on the inside of Simpson and Clement de Sal and Yaskonis for a triple going into the oh my goodness, it's getting super tight now though. De Sal, Yaskonis all battling it out as Grant dives back on the inside once again. The number 25 ahead of the 461, but for how long? The man with the red plate fighting back, fighting in this dramatic fashion as we get on the left hand side, super tight to the apex there, just trying to hold position and just hang on with dear life for the time being. But we do look like we've finally recovered somewhat, and we now have a chance of hanging on to this podium position. What a wacky race this has really been in Pietramurata, and of course the wonderful weather change and the wonderful variable weather in MXGP 2020 has gone in our favour, but somehow Jeremy Seewer right at the front there, dominating this Grand Prix. I forgot it was not Tim Geiser. I thought Tim Geiser was first. Never mind. Jeremy Seewer wins, Geiser second, and Grant takes third. So we'll look at the results so far, see where Geiser, Grant in the top 3. Jorge Prado somewhere and somehow got ahead of Clement de Sal and Yaskonis. Simpson dropped down to 7th, Evans, Cavellin and Cairoli are your top 10. So now we do it all once more for race 2 here. Oh, jumped the start ever so slightly there, bumping into the barrier, and now it's a simple case of starting pretty much dead last but getting across the whole shot. Fox's whole shot goes to Jeremy Seewer as we get a little bit out of shape going into the right hander there. A bit messy, let's be honest with ourselves, as we now have the man on board the gas to the left of us there, Glenn Koldenoff, as he now goes onto the left front side. Wow, what a move that was from Paul Jonas as he dives to the inside of both Grant and Glenn Koldenoff. But now a little bit of a leap getting into the left hand side. Jonas is in the way. Jorge Prado had a wonderful finish to race 1 just a moment ago. Is now up there in 4th position, so good job to Jorge Prado as we now go into the left hand side. Too close to the apex, bumping into the sandbag, making an absolute mess of that corner here in Pietramurata. Not good at all to start this one off, but never mind, it's a dry session. We still have a wonderful chance of fighting back and making the moves as we get completely out of shape there. That was absolutely wild. Just what on earth was going on there? Never mind, we're still on board the motorcycle. We have an additional championship advantage now to Clement de Sal, which of course hasn't taken effect yet, but will do towards the end of this Grand Prix. Our only championship rival, in theory, is Clement de Sal. Tim Geiser not that far behind, of course, but still, we have a wonderful chance to extend our championship lead if we get past Clement de Sal. And what the hell happened then? Massive contact with Paul Jonas in the air, and we have to take an obstacle avoided penalty and therefore restart to where we just were. Boges and Koldenoff ahead of us now. They're man on board the gas and a KTM. Diver going the inside, and of course the gas basically is a KTM, but just rebranded, of course. We're now on the left hand side, bumping into the rear of the KTM, and now giving him a bit of a scratch on the paintwork as well for a big don't argue. As we're now on the right hand side, going up on the inside of the gas. Wonderful block pass, but Glenn Koldenoff fights back tremendously as he gets back ahead of the man with the number 461, the man with the red plate, of course, as we see the green plumage on the left hand side, the green smoke, as we continue to push forward, going into the right hander, going into the rut here. Wonderful tight manoeuvre. Don't touch the Parts Europe sign, because you're probably going to have a bad time and you're potentially going to crash. But now onto the left hand side, a little bit of a jump here, and then a massive one where you're going to really push back on the analog sticks as Jorge Prado, the man who was leading this Grand Prix. What on earth happened then? We went absolutely sideways. I have no idea what happened. Absolutely not sure what just happened there. Jorge Prado crashed. We went sideways for some strange reason, and we have now been dropped back down to 8th position and have all that work to do again. But look at that manoeuvre up on the inside of Glenn Koldenoff. He didn't see that coming, and let's be honest, did you even see it coming neither? I don't think so. But now on the left hand side, Henry Jacobi into 6th position. He's our next target on our list as we'll go in the right hand side, getting into the berm, nice and tight there. Look how low we went to the floor on the right-hand side. The right foot getting into the floor to really help us balance the bike around, and thankfully we managed to get through unscathed. So the time has expired, and Jorge Prado will probably set us off for the final 2 laps any moment now. He's quite far ahead, but not too far ahead. We can still recover some positions as we see Paul Jonas and Henry Jacobi just a few positions ahead of us, and Jorge Prado does indeed set us up for the final 2 laps, indicated with the flag on the left-hand side there, of course, just a moment ago. Jorge Prado, after his tremendous performance in race 1 towards the end of the first race, is now really riding with style and momentum up at the front positions. But look at the gap behind. He is beginning to get some sort of gap, and there is an absolute gaggle of riders ahead of us. There's about 5 riders battling it out for second position right now, and I want to put my hat in the mix. I want to get involved and battle with Jacobi, battle with Jonas, battle with championship rival Clement Desal, and possibly even Glenn Koldenoff there. So now it's time to execute with style and get ahead of Paul Jonas. We are now up into 6th position. Can we dive with the inside of Henry Jacobi? Not quite. Super close to the rear of the Yamaha, but on the right hand side we might get the job done as Clement Desal goes for that wide line. Massive contact made there with Henry Jacobi. Not ideal to sort of bump into someone's rear wheel, but we are now up into 5th position. 2 positions gained on this lap already, so good stuff for the man with the 461. The man with the red plate, of course, is now on the left hand side. Watch out for the... Jorge Prado's gone down. Prado's gone down. Jacobi's gone down. Something has gone on there, and it's absolute carnage here at Pietramurata. We have been gifted a 4th position as Clement Desal, that absolute bugger, still hanging in there trying to keep us away from taking wonderful championship points. He's making this very, very entertaining and interesting, so thank you, Clement Desal. But now onto the right-hand side, Prado ahead of us. We could get on the podium here, ladies and gentlemen. Jorge Prado is not that far away. The Spaniard is doing a good job so far of keeping us at bay, but you better believe the next couple of sectors are where we are strong. But Clement Desal wants nothing of it. He wants to squash the dreams of getting on the podium once again. He's saying, look, Kawasaki gets ahead of the Yamaha, my friend. Kawasaki versus Yamaha. It's not the first time we've seen it, and it's not the first time we will see it this season either. But now a big jump. Clement Desal hanging on to that 4th position. Nice movement into the right-hand side there. Look how much speed we got onto the rear there, right onto the rear of Clement Desal, but didn't quite come to fruition. Henry Jacobi now gets ahead of Grant, and we're sort of on the back foot here. The dreams of the podium is slipping away, going between our metaphorical fingers as we on the right-hand side once again. Jacobi still hanging in there, kind of in the way now actually. Jacobi, the Yamaha man, really hindering our progress and progression here right now as we get on the right-hand side. Jorge Prado could potentially be losing out on the podium finish as well, as we get a massive jump over the top of oh my goodness, over Henry Jacobi. Tim Geiser crashed. I see Jorge Prado. Oh my goodness, Henry Jacobi's crashed again. We still have a chance as Jorge Prado is lost the position to Clement Desal. At the very least, if I don't get on the podium, Prado, hold on to 3rd position, but we're going to try. Oh, massive contact. Jorge Prado just flew off his motorcycle, and now onto the right-hand side we'll go to finish in 4th place. What carnage here in Pietramurata. So the end of race 2, Tim Geiser takes the victory in the 25 points. Jeremy Seewer finishes 2nd with 22 points, and Clement Desal just finishes ahead of championship rival Matt Grant in 3rd position, 4th for Grant. Prado took 5th place after a massive crash towards the end of the Grand Prix. Koldenoff 6th, Tony Cairoli 7th, Boges 8th, Henry Jacobi 9th, and Paul Jonas finishes up the top 10. So look at the Grand Prix results of Pietramurata, Italy. It's a joint 1st position between Tim Geiser and Jeremy Seewer, both trading victories and a 2nd place. And Grant takes 3rd place, taking just 2 championship points ahead of championship rival Clement Desal. So 3rd place, pretty happy with that performance. Not bad overall. Not the best of Grand Prix. I did feel like we could do better, but I'm still happy with the results, and I think you guys should be as well. But now leading the championship by 19 points, and certainly heating up for the next 10 Grand Prix. So guys, thanks for watching as always. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload. Thanks for watching guys, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.